All right, apologies for this. I'm gonna film this on my phone as it's just a little bit quicker to get an update out. So far, the laser has been performing really well. So a bunch of type of materials I've been cutting. I've already cut 1/4 inch 6mm acrylic. Takes about 2 passes at 50% power, 5mm a second. I've cut regular acrylic, or not regular, but thinner acrylic, 3mm or 1/8 inch, and that's pretty much half the settings of this. So just one pass, whereas a 1/4 inch takes 2 passes at 50 power, 5 mm per second. This one just takes one pass at 5 mm, 50% power. I've also cut. What is this? This one's the 5mm birch plywood that I've gotten at Home Depot. So that pretty much cuts like butter. I think 50mm at like 9mm a second, or 50% power at 9mm a second or something. Also cut 3mm birch. I don't know where it is. This is tempered hardwood or hardboard. It's kind of like MDF, but cheap. Also at Home Depot. That cuts pretty well too. Forgot the settings for that. I have veneered walnut on MDF. That pretty much just cuts like MDF. Again, I forgot the settings. I think in my previous video I put out the settings for MDF, so you can look at previous videos. 6mm birch plywood, a little bit of trouble sometimes. Sometimes there are glue pockets. You can see where there was a glue pocket here. Excessive charring. When the laser, when it starts cutting and you see excessive charring, that's probably where a glue pocket was. So I had to knock that out with a handsaw, or a hacksaw. This birch plywood I've had a little bit of trouble. Probably need more passes on that. You can see that there's a lot more layers in this type of wood too. So a lot more layers means a lot more glue. Whereas my 5mm birch, I don't know if you could see. Let me try to focus. Can't focus. But in here, just trust me, you'll see that there's only only one layer in there. Whereas that 6mm birch had like, I don't know, 4 layers, 5 layers in there. Also cut 1/4 inch MDF here. 1/4 inch MDF, no problem. 6mm 1/4 inch MDF, no problem either. The Gweikecloud materials that it comes with, their MDF needs a lot more passes for some reason. Their 1/8 inch MDF here needed a lot more passes than, I don't know, the 1/8 inch MDF I got from another place. I don't know why, and it chars a lot more too. Maybe it's just low quality MDF that they gave you. I cut their acrylic too. Their 3mm acrylic that cuts like butter, just like this type of acrylic that I got from another place. So that their acrylic cuts well. I haven't tried their basswood yet, and obviously I don't really do anything with cardboard. Maybe I could just do a test with that at some point for fun. Maybe I'll try their basswood at some point too. In terms of exhaust issues, I know I've posted that I've been having exhaust issues. Pretty much my place only has one opening on one side of the house, and I was exiting exhaust fumes out that opening, plus fresh air was also getting fresh air was recirculating back in and mixing with that exhaust and coming back into my room here. So that's why I was getting all those high numbers in my previous video. But I figured that out now. I'm running a super long exhaust line out the back of the house now, with a AC Infinity 6-inch inline fan, which has been working pretty well to help the fan in here suck out the fumes. I think I posted in a previous video that I had an inline filter going. Right now I'm not having an inline filter going, as that didn't work out too well. And there's no inline filter that I've tried that seals well. It always leaks, so I'll let that idea go. The fan in here is still intact. I'm going to leave that in there. I know in a previous video I said that I was going to take it out, but no longer doing that, just to help the air exhaust here, and then the AC Infinity fan will help bring it out. I've relocated the air box to another location down here, and that required a bunch of modifications to the power line. Or I got a longer airline tube. This I just got from a local aquarium shop. If you're in the US, I got it at Petco. They sell this, they sell like 10 feet for like, I don't know, $5 or whatever. I've also cut my power cord that feeds that filter box in half, and then soldered on longer cables, a longer power cable. So half is you see is here, half is like down there where the connection to the air box is. So you can do that. It's only 2 cables in here, a black and a red. I think it's 20 gauge wire. Theirs is 20 gauge copper wire. I'm using 20 gauge, just regular silver wire, just because I had that lying around, and it works just fine to power that compressor in there. Again, I don't have the air here connected to the air filter, so all that box is doing down there is running the air compressor, until I can figure out how to get a new, or which air compressor I should get next. So in here, there's only air compressor in there. I've disconnected a fan, so it's less noise. So this is kind of a waste of space here. I tried to extract the fan or the compressor, but I couldn't get to the space is very tight in there, so I couldn't get to the power connections to extract the compressor. Otherwise, I would like to get rid of this, as I really need a storage, as you can see from all the kids' toys and everything that I need to get rid of, or that I need to store. Not gonna get rid of them. But yeah, otherwise, the laser is really good. I love it. Another update is that when you're using your computer with this, once you send a file, you can detach your computer, which is really nice. So once that file is sent, you can start and stop via this button here, which is really cool. I like that function. Whereas my old diode laser, once you unplug that USB, your laser stops. I hated that function. But this, again, with the computer attached, you can send the file. Once you send the file via Lightburn, you can detach your computer, take it away, and it'll just do its job. And sometimes I need to pause it. I'll press this button, it'll pause, and then when I want it to resume, we'll press the button again and it'll resume. So that's a really handy feature. I really like that. What else? I think that's it. In here, I don't know if I posted, but I took off the cover. You can see the cover. I placed it right here. Don't need the cover on. The lens might get a little bit dirty here quicker. But I took the cover off so that every time I focus with Lightburn, I can see the laser head move down. With that cover on, I can't verify if that laser head has moved down or not. And I don't want to waste material if it hasn't focused and it starts cutting. So that's why I took the cover off. The cover is really easy to take off. It's just snapped on by magnets. You literally just pull off this this Velcro thing that it has tied around the waist of the laser head cover, and then just kind of yank this off. So it's really easy to come off. Oh, here, I can show some settings, I guess. This is the 1/4 inch acrylic. You can see that 50% power cuts through it at 2 passes. All these were 2 passes. I don't really do anything above 50%, as I kind of want to preserve the life of my laser tube as much as possible. Even though I guess it's relatively cheap to replace. I don't know, depending on their Gweikecloud stock. 50%, 5mm a second, 2 passes for 6mm acrylic. 3mm acrylic is, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, there you go. I usually run it at 50% again. I try not to go higher. That's why I don't do any more new test cards with 60% power, anything above 50% power. So 50%, 5mm a second, 1 pass. Obviously, it looks like I could go higher too at 6mm a second, but I just keep it slow. Doesn't matter. This is the tempered hardboard from Home Depot, 3mm. Looks like I didn't even do a 50% test. But anyways, you can kind of guess. I think I now cut it at 50% anyways. Did I write it on the back? I did not. Oh, right here. 50%, 6mm, 1 pass. This is the MDF that I got. Gweikecloud's MDF, again, doesn't cut like this for some reason, for some odd reason. Do I have a test card of that one? Yeah, this is Gweikecloud's MDF. Same settings. Just didn't cut through at all. Go figure, huh? I don't know. I don't know. 3mm birch plywood. I do 50% at 9mm a second. This is that 5mm. Well, they said 6, but it's technically 5mm. Birch plywood from Home Depot, 50%, 8mm a second. 6mm MDF. You need 2 passes for this. So I usually do the 50% at 5mm a second. I think for this one, I actually went down to 4mm a second. What is this one? This one's that tougher to cut birch plywood, 6mm 1/4 inch. Looks like you need multiple passes, and anything on this test card needed to be pushed out. I mean, these couldn't be pushed out, but these ones that were cut through needed to be pushed out. And then I don't know why I have another MDF test. What's the difference? I don't remember what the difference was. Maybe I just did another test. Anyways, those are my test cuts. Always test cut your material before you test, before you start cutting, because every material is going to be different. If you know, for this 3mm MDF, for example, they're both 3mm, they're both MDF, yet the Gweikecloud MDF just did not cut through at all with the same settings as this MDF I sourced from another company. So that's my update. Hope you guys enjoy these videos, and buy through my referral link that's linked below. Hope my information has helped you pick a laser, and hope I've, I don't know, earned your business so that you can click on my referral link. Anyways, goodbye for now.